If you marry the right person, you will never have problems. Ha! Have you heard that line before? Or what's this other popular one? Like, you see them all over the place. You know, when you get married, it's just good for you to settle down. Just settle down and everything will get fixed up. You'll be prim and proper and things will start going well with you. Settle down. There is nothing like settling down. Settle down. Well, have you heard any of these lines before? I'm sure they're familiar. You've heard these lines before. These are some of the lines that are lies or myths in marriage and keeps people in trouble. Well, before we go on, before we continue, my name is Mabel, and if this is your first time or your second time or you're a returning subscriber on this channel, welcome and thank you for clicking on this video. On this channel, I share my real life experiences, raw, real, just like it as it is, on marriage, on relationship and families. And one thing I also do is that I occasionally bring in couples here to share their real life experiences. So if that sounds like your vibe, definitely hit that subscribe button and I'm sure you will be glad you did. Now let's get on with what we want to talk about today. We're talking about those myths that have kept people in, well, let's say kept people in chains, but those myths that are really not right about marriage, and it seems like they just seem like those truths out there about marriage, and you get into marriage and you discover these are not true. I'll just be sharing some of the few ones that I have discovered that are not true about marriage. So let's crack on with it. The first myth is marriage will make you fulfilled or marriage will make you happy. Marriage will neither make you happy nor make you fulfilled. Marriage reveals you. So if you're unhappy before you get married, you're going to be unhappy when you're married. If you are a sadist before you get married, I don't think marriage all of a sudden, because marriage is not what you get into and it just gets better for you, or it gets nice for you, or it's what you make of it. So marriage reveals you. It doesn't get better. It doesn't make you get better, nor make you get worse. It is what you bring into marriage. It's a work you put into yourself as a couple into marriage that either makes it good for you, or makes it worse for you, or makes it fulfilling for you, or makes it unfulfilling for you. So marriage, it will neither make you happy nor make you sad. It depends on the work you put into marriage. Now the next myth is the myth that says if you marry the right person, it will be easy. Or if you marry your soulmate, or if you marry your destiny partner, it will be easy. The best couples I've seen are not those that don't have problems, are not those that don't have conflict, but those that through the conflict, they decide to work on the conflict, work on their marriage, and they get better. So irrespective of who you get married to, if you do not decide to work as a team or work on that marriage, or from day one decide that I'm going to make this work, I'm going to make this marriage work, it's either it works or it works. Not having a plan B in case it doesn't work. What do I do? One thing I am still grateful for that I did or that I'm doing is that we both came together, myself and my husband, and said we have to make this marriage work. There is no plan B. It's either it works or it works. And it just changes your perspective. It changes your perspective on knowing that this has to work. So there is no going back. There is no back door. So irrespective of who you get married to, marriage doesn't get easy. It doesn't get easier because of whoever you got married to. It gets easier because you both are determined to make it work, resolve conflicts, and get better to improve your relationship. Happy couples don't argue. And who says so? That's a big fat lie. Who says happy couples don't argue? Happy couples are not those who don't argue, but those that, irrespective of how much they argue, they are fixed on making the argument to resolve the issue. They are fixed on the issue and not on the person. So whatever they're doing is about conflict resolution. It's resolving that conflict. That at the end of the day, it's a win-win. It's not about who wins and who loses, because you might win the fight and lose your partner. So which are you interested in? So couples that don't argue, I feel one person is definitely lying to the other person, or one person is pretending, or one person is not opening up. I think some people, I remember there was a time I was talking to my husband. He says, there are some people that can't really marry someone that they can't argue with. You should be able to argue constructively, to resolve conflict, to resolve issues, to reasonably present your facts. You know, there's a difference if we are talking about something and we are hinged on the results than me pulling you down. So when healthy couples argue, it is not to pull each other down, it's to build each other up, it's for the betterment of the relationship. It moves the marriage further when you resolve your conflicts in a unique way or in a positive way. Your marriage gets better after every argument. But when you see couples that you say they don't argue, one person is definitely lying to the other. One person is definitely not being sincere and transparent to the spouse. The fourth myth is that kids will bring you closer. When I was growing up, I used to hear that, when couples just get married, kids, increases your love for each other. Kids do not bring you closer. Now, these things do not depend on your marriage, or your marriage doesn't depend on them. I'm trying to get the relationship between these things. How you treat your kids or how you treat your partner when you have kids will either determine if you guys will get close while you are parenting, or if you guys will get further. Kids will either bring you closer or take you further. So it depends on how much does your relationship mean to you. How much does your partner means to you? Are the kids now being in between your partner? That's why I still hinge on couples getting married and knowing, or just bonding for a little time, even if it's 6 months or 1 year. I actually planned that, but it didn't work out. I think it's a healthy way, because most of the time when couples haven't, or intending couples have not been together for a while before they get married, counselors actually advise for you to stay for a few time, no matter how short it is, even if it's a few months, and not introducing a child immediately to that circle. I think children just change the whole dynamics of your relationship. It does. And it takes more intentionality for you to still stay as bonded and as knitted as you used to be when the children comes into the equation. I've seen couples struggle, couples in a conflict, or marriage headed to the gridlock, or people having issues with their marriage, and then you see in that state of making the marriage work, they're still procreating, and most of the time it usually doesn't end well, or it usually doesn't go well, or it's usually not easy, because it changes the whole dynamics of the whole thing. I was speaking with my sister, I'm not sure recently, but I made her to understand that merely you get married, a whole circle changes. Your whole circle changes. Definitely you're not having sex with your husband or your wife, of which you weren't doing before. You are now as a husband and wife, and your whole life changes. Even your biological circle changes. Everything changes because your life has changed. So sometimes there will not be different medical conditions that will come up that you don't even know you had. It's a whole change. It's a whole change. And childbirth comes into it, and you're the man, you're surprised that, oh, this lady I got married to, wow. You can't even recognize your wife anymore. She's not as that sweet and cute and petite as she was when you guys were dating. It takes a lot of processing for you to understand, wow, is this my new life? Is this my new reality? Is this the wife I got married to? Is this what this marriage is about? Is this how my life is going to be for the rest of my life? It's a whole lot to deal with. It takes intention. It takes It takes that intention and that consciousness to say, yes, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to take up. I'm ready to take each day or each step as the day comes. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of determination. That's the word. It's a lot of determination to say, yes, this is my new life and I'm embracing it head on. It's a lot. So kids do not bring you closer. Kids will either bring you closer or take you farther away. So it is not marriage or it's not kids that will bring you closer in marriage. It is how you deal with the situation that will make that process or make your marriage more bonded because you have kids around or otherwise. Now the last myth I want to talk about is love is enough to sustain your marriage. My dear, love is not enough to sustain your marriage. Love is important, but not enough. You need a whole lot of other virtues. You need patience, you need kindness, you need forbearance, you need love, all of it, packaged with prayer and a lot of intention. So I've seen marriages head to the bricks, people cheating on each other and they still love themselves. I've seen people hurting on each other and they still love themselves. So I don't think love alone is enough. Love alone is not enough, especially when it comes from one person. I think that you need a lot to sustain that marriage and not just love. A bonus myth. This one, I think it's a whole video I'll talk about is that myth that says marriage is 50-50. Let me know if you want me to talk about that or bring someone to talk about that percentage thing, because I've heard, 50-50, man brings your 50, the other person brings the 50, or it's 100, or it's, what's the percentage for marriage? Let's talk about it. If you want me to shoot that video or bring someone for us to talk about it, let me see it on the comments. Now over to you. What are those myths? What are those very familiar myths that you've grown up with or you heard before you got married and you discovered that you entered marriage and you discovered that, man, this thing is not real. Is it me that is not seeing this, or this thing is not seeing me, or you just discovered it's all a lie, it's all a myth? I want to hear from you and I'll be responding to your comment. Just put it on the comment. What are those myths you've heard, or those lies, those common myths you've heard about marriage that are not true? If you've watched this video to this time, I'm sure you're very passionate about marriage. I shot a video recently that talked about those things I wish I knew before I got married. Those things I thought I knew or I wish I knew as of 20 years ago. I'll link it up here and let me hear from you what you think of that video. I'll see you over there.